Hello YouTube and to everyone living up on Cloud 9. I go by the name of Cloud White, and today we're going to talk about cannabis ETFs. Specifically, my favorite cannabis ETF, AdvisorShares Pure Cannabis ETF, YOLO. So you might be asking yourself, what is an ETF? Simply put, an ETF or exchange traded fund is a basket of securities that trades on an exchange much like a stock. ETFs are generally highly transparent, their underlying holdings are fully disclosed on a daily basis, and are highly liquid. So that's what I want to talk about today, is a couple different cannabis ETFs and their various top 10 holdings, and why I like YOLO the best. So if we go here, I have this article that was recently published, the 5 best marijuana ETFs for conservative portfolios. And in here they highlight a couple different ETFs, and they start with arguably the most famous, which is Alternative Harvest ETF, ticker symbol MJ. So if we go over here to ETF.com and we look up MJ, ETF MG, Alternative Harvest ETF, and we go down to holdings, you'll see here that the MJ top 10 holdings are Canopy Growth at 9.39%, GW Pharmaceuticals at 9.05%, Kronos Group Inc. at 8.03%, Tilray Inc. at 6.94%, and Corbus Pharmaceuticals at 4.75%. Now, one of my top 2 favorite cannabis stocks is GW Pharmaceuticals, so it's great that they hold 9.05% of their portfolio with them. But my other favorite cannabis stock, bar none, is Innovative Industrial Properties, which we'll talk a little bit about later, and that is not on their top 10 list. So if we go back here to the top 5 and we scroll down to the next one, the next ETF, cannabis ETF highlighted is the Cannabis ETF, ticker symbol THCX. If we go over here, we'll see that the holdings, the top 10 holdings for THCX, GW Pharmaceuticals, once again, which is great, at 9.81%, Canopy Growth at 7.94%, Scotts Miracle-Gro at 7.78%, Kronos Group Inc. 7.31%, and Tilray Inc. at 7.21%. Once again, Innovative Industrial Properties, not mentioned on here, great. Once again, they're holding 9.81% of GW Pharmaceuticals. If we go back to the article, we'll see the next ETF that they highlight in the article, which is Cambria Cannabis ETF, ticker symbol TOKE. So if we go over here, let's check out the holdings for TOKE. And we get here to the top 10 list, and the top 5 are GW Pharmaceuticals, great, at 9.7%, Constellation Brands at 7.19%, British American at 6.29%, Afria Inc. at 6.1%, and Canopy Growth at 4.97%. And if you do look over here, they are holding Innovative Industrial Properties, but only 3.32%. So back to our top 5 article, we scroll down, we get to my favorite cannabis ETF, AdvisorShares Pure Cannabis ETF, ticker symbol YOLO. So another great thing about YOLO is that they target companies in the United States, which is something I'm heavily focused on. I think once cannabis becomes federally legal, the market's just going to explode here, and I don't want to be invested in other countries. I want to be invested in the United States. But if we come over here to the YOLO holdings, you'll see that they are holding a mutual fund at 11.56% and a derivative security at 8.47%, and then Innovative Industrial Properties at 7.96% and GW Pharmaceuticals at 7.41%. So they are, my 2 favorite cannabis stocks are in their top 5 holdings, and until recently, I think they had the most as far as their holdings with these 2 companies, bar none, compared to the other ETFs that we've recently talked about. So why do I like Innovative Industrial Properties so much? Well, this is Innovative Industrial Properties. It's sitting at $98.96 a share. Innovative Industrial Properties is a REIT, a cannabis REIT, which means that they are invested in real estate specifically regarding the cannabis industry, the medical cannabis industry. REIT stands for Real Estate Investment Trust. I like innovative industrial properties because it's a cannabis play without playing directly into cannabis, which I think is just a total, it's up in the air as far as the United States is concerned, where, it's going to become federally legal, but on the way to becoming federally legal, who are the companies that make it? I think this is a safe play in, just playing real estate. We got to grow the stuff somewhere, right? Innovative industrial properties. Beautiful. Then my second favorite, GW Pharmaceuticals. Here we are sitting at 127.10 a share. I like GW Pharmaceuticals because they hold cannabis sector patents. GW Pharmaceuticals is a biopharmacological company focused on discovering, developing, and commercializing cannabinoid prescription medicines using botanical extracts derived from the cannabis plant. Its lead product is Epidiolex. All I know is this shit is saving lives. I saw a news story about this medication a couple years ago. They were giving it to some kids that were suffering from epilepsy. They were having seizures. It was like they instantly went away. I think this is going to be the future of medicine, and I want to be involved with companies that have patents in the cannabis industry. So if we look here, top 5 U.S. cannabis patent filers, GW Pharmaceuticals sitting pretty at number 1 with 175. So to make a very long story short, that is why YOLO is my favorite cannabis ETF. Now, I personally, full transparency, at the moment, I only own about 5 shares of YOLO because I monitor the cannabis industry heavily. ETFs are more or less for people that want to invest in a particular sector. In this instance, we're talking about cannabis, and they don't want to monitor too much what company is doing this or that, and they just want to have a general, blanket over the industry. ETFs are great for that. I personally watch all of these stocks very closely, and I feel confident in, the stocks that I'm picking right now, weighed heavily with innovative industrial properties and GW Pharmaceuticals. So to be, fair, that is really the only reason I think YOLO is the best, and also the fact that they're, focused on the U.S. and they're actively managed. But, that's good enough for me. So if I was to invest in a cannabis ETF, it most certainly would be YOLO, and is YOLO. So that said, I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, found anything useful, feel free to like and subscribe. We're going to be doing a lot more videos like this, talking about my crazy investments over the next couple of months. This just happens to be one of them, rather. So